Hi guys, I'm Dean and I grow and scale construction industry businesses. I'm experienced running an 8-figure a year business and I'm at a stage of my entrepreneurial journey of investing in companies, and what I've learned is that investing in a business is very different to running and operating a business. There's different things you've got to get right. Investing in a business is a long and calculated game. It's thinking through that bigger picture and looking down and going, right, what do we need to do in this business to make it really grow? But unfortunately, most people invest into businesses or anything with a gambler's mentality, the red or black scenario. And that's not how you can look at investing in a business properly. Because rule number one of investing is never lose money. And rule number two, don't forget rule number one. So in this video, I'm going to share my process for investing in a company to make sure that one, it's the right person, two, it's the right business, and three, everyone actually makes money. Today, I've invested in property, stocks, shares, Bitcoin, businesses, and for me, by far the best is business. Business gives you the best returns when you know what you're doing and you're experienced in it, because the best investment is in something that you really understand and know, because then you've got predictability. Then you know what's going to happen if you do X, Y, and Z in that business. You know the outcome because you're experienced in doing it. And that's what I am with the construction industry. I know the industry so well. I've been in it my whole life. I started on the tools at the bottom as a labourer, earning 50 quid a day, and I've worked my way up, built my way up, built companies, invested in companies. I know what works and I know what doesn't. So for me, that is my edge. That is my investing edge, because I know the industry like the back of my hand. When I grew up loving property, I always saw that as the easiest option for investing money. But what I've learned is that actually when you do things like developments, you are always at the mercy of what money you're going to make at the end. You get paid at the very end. Buy-to-lets that I've got are quite boring and basic, and they just sit there and don't really earn you actually much money now. They're a great longer term strategy, but in terms of generating a business that cash flows and is actually worth money, has massive shareholder value, and actually going to be worth something one day to actually sell that business, the returns are just off the charts with business compared to property, in my opinion. And then stocks and shares are great. You can easily just put money in and you can sell them very quickly as well. It's got its place, but for that biggest return, I just think business is the best place to focus all your efforts on. So my process for investing in a company, there's 5 steps to it. Number one, that company has to be operated by a solid human being. If the person running the business, the person you're going to go into business with, is not a solid human, they haven't got great integrity, they haven't got the best intentions, they're not just a good person who does the right thing, it is a waste of time even looking at the business. Even the business with the best potential, the most amount of money that you can earn, if you're going into business with the wrong person who's just not integral, who isn't a man of his word, and isn't a good egg, like there is no point going into any business, any investment opportunity with someone that you do not trust wholeheartedly and you could look at as one of your brothers and someone that you will go to war with. Don't do it. You will save yourself loads of headaches. If you go into the business with the wrong person, it'll be the most expensive thing that you ever do. So you always need to do a background check on whoever you are looking to go into business with or do any type of deal with. Do a background check. Check them out. Trust everyone, but verify. Don't listen to what people say. Look at what they've actually done and what they actually do. Because you cannot do a good deal with a bad person. And then number 2, I'm looking for solid results. Whether that's from a business setting or the person, I need to see that that business has proven, demonstrated results. There might be some issues in the business that need to be solved, but there needs to be proof of success. And there needs to be proof of success with the person as well. Might be a personal achievement, might be a sporting achievement, because success leaves clues. And if someone can excel in one area of their life, they can excel in another area of their life. And you really want to understand and see, are you going into business with a high achiever? Someone who gets shit done and someone who actually gets a result. And you guys, a lot of you that follow me for a long time on Instagram, you see the different things that I pop about business. You see the different things that I do about going to the gym every single day, that discipline, that commitment, that relentless pursuit of doing what needs to be done over time. That is the type of person that you want to go into business with. Then number 3, we need to see solid maths, a simple spreadsheet highlighting the business, the deal, the structure, how the business makes money, where the money goes in the business and how the business operates. If it can't make sense on a simple one-pager, then it's not a deal. It's not a great investment opportunity, because numbers do not lie and facts stop you gambling. Investing is not something that you do just by a whim and a gut feel. You need to see the numbers on a clean spreadsheet, because unfortunately a lot of people live in the pipe dream world. They live in this, but when we do this, then we'll be here and the business will be better. And then when this happens, we'll be fine. That is not what we're looking for. When you're looking to invest in a business, you want reality, facts, cold heart, figures, and there's no emotion to it. It just is what it is. And number 4, we need to be looking at a solid timeline, a clear 1-year goal for the business, a clear 3, 5, and a much bigger picture of the business of an exit plan or a strategy later on. What is the bigger picture? You cannot be going into a business or any transaction or any deal looking at just a short term right now and the immediate payoff, but actually where are we going to be in 3, 5, 10 years? We need to be looking along a really long time horizon. Like going into business with someone or investing into a business is a long road. It is not just a short, how can we just make a quick few quid right now? It's a big commitment, and actually having a relationship with someone in a business, I would say, is more demanding than a personal relationship with your wife, your husband, or anything. Because business doesn't lie, it exposes people. Business is great when it's all good, but when business reaches problems, that's when it exposes people and it shows their true character of what their capabilities are, how they manage stress, how they manage conflict, you name it. Everything will come up in a business to test you. And I actually think business is the biggest personal development tool there is, because it will test you to every single thing that you can even think of. It is one of the hardest things you will ever do. And making sure that you guys are committed for the long term, you're in it for the long haul, that is going to be the better setup for an investment deal. If someone is just looking at it going, right, well, in a year's time, then we'll just see how we go. It doesn't work. You've got to be looking at the bigger picture the whole time. You've got to be aligned on what you need to do across that bigger journey so that you haven't got different viewpoints on when money gets taken out of the business, how you decide to invest on certain things in the business. You've all got to be aligned for the longer journey and make sure that every single person's goals for that business are all on the same page. Number 5, you need a solid contract. You need a shareholders agreement that takes care of all the details, because everything's great when it's good. When you first shake hands on an investment deal, everyone's positive, everyone's happy. But what happens if all the scenarios that are likely going to happen? Because shit happens in life. Things change. People get divorced. People get ill. People have conflicts. Things just happen. So there has to be a solid shareholders agreement that protects everyone, protects both sides, done by a professional solicitor, put together properly at a company's house, and not just setting up a company and just making any old class of shares and not doing it the proper structured way, so that there is a system in place to protect everyone's downside and upside. The right contract will save you a lot of headaches and time later on, because things just change. It's life. Things move on, and everyone needs to get clear on that contract so that you are all on the same page, because things will happen in companies, and if you've got that bit of paperwork there that's properly locked down, then you're all going to be protected. And the way I look at it is that if you go through it in that order, it's a solid human, there's solid results, there's solid maths, and you're working to a solid timeline, then you can go into a solid contract. If you do it in those steps, and if one of those steps aren't hit, you're out of the deal. It doesn't happen, because you can't do the deal if things are not stacked up correctly. And if you do those 5 things, you won't go wrong, because unfortunately, most people just run into business deals willy-nilly, no plan, no structure, and it just turns into absolute chaos, and actually it's more of a distraction. People don't make money, and it goes wrong, and that's where partnerships and investments get a bad deal. But if you do them right, get all the ducks in a row first, then it's just a case of, right, let's knuckle down and do the work and actually make a success of each business. If you like this video and you found it useful and you're interested in scaling your business to £1 million a year net profitability, then you're going to want to check out this next video, and it will cover off the full blueprint on exactly what you need to do that in the construction industry. And it's the same blueprint that I use in every company that I invest in, so go and check it out now.